So my whole entire life, I had a lot of symptoms ranging from anxiety, depression, constipation. I had a lot of stomach issues, hormonal issues, and it was just all deemed normal. And so I just learned to survive. It wasn't until I was 4 months postpartum with my daughter, my first child, that I got extremely sick. I started having worse stomach issues. I was having skin rashes. I just was feeling awful. And so I started opening my mind to more of a root cause holistic lifestyle.
Mhm.
Beforehand, I did not take care of myself. I just had not been educated on that. So it brought me down this path. But what really turned everything was when my daughter was 2 years old. She had a vaccine injury. She Right after her, vaccine, she 3 days later had eczema that broke out all over her body, and
When she
things
was just born, did you do Hep B?
I didn't do anything until she was 6 months,
Okay.
and then, I did my own schedule,
Mhm.
so I would do, like, 1, I would wait 2 months, I would do another, I'd wait 2 months, and so we were already on our own schedule. But at 2 years old is the MMR and then the varicella, and so I had agreed to them months apart, but right after the last injection is when symptoms really started showing up, so full body eczema. She just I could tell, like, her bowel movements were not working. There was definitely gut disturbances.
Within hours or days after the vaccine?
Days.
Days. Okay.
It was probably about 2 or 3 days that I mean, it was on her arms, on her legs, on her stomach, and she had never had any skin issues before, and then it just progressed. I mean, she would wake up every hour at night, couldn't go back to sleep, she was starving constantly, I could not get enough food into her. It was very odd because we were feeding her solid amount of protein and foods to nourish her, but she just was not holding the food, the nourishment, and so she would wake up at midnight starving. There was just a lot of things that were strange that started happening, but really within a year of that last vaccine, she had lost 80 to 90% of her hair, and
What did the doctor say?
they told me that there was nothing they could do for me. They, took one look at her and said they were diagnosing her with an autoimmune disorder, and
Did they admit this is from vaccine?
no, I had asked them multiple questions because not only did I didn't know for sure it was the vaccine. I had my own inclinations because I had started questioning vaccines around that time. We also had found out we were living in mold. We had an active leak in our house, and so I was, racking my brain of everything. Is it the mold? Was it the vaccine? What happened? Because something had to have happened. And the doctors were like, no, it's not the mold. It's not the vaccine. It just happens. She'll have to live with it the rest of her life. And I had gone to them 3 times. So after the first visit, they said there was nothing they could do for me. I had connections to order a hair follicle test. Excuse me. So I tested her hair. I got the test results back within about 10 days, and her heavy metal toxicity levels were 3 times what they should have been. Aluminum, mercury, all through the roof. And so I instantly was like, okay, well, this is why she lost her hair. So and I knew it wasn't 100% of the vaccine, but I did believe it was a huge contributor to it. Um, so I went back to the pediatrician and I gave him the paperwork that I had, and he was flabbergasted that I even had done a hair follicle test. He had never even heard that being done on a child. I then asked him to do a heavy metal toxicity test through her blood. I wanted to test and have it on record because I was trying to get a vaccine exemption. He had never ran a test like that before. He had been in practice probably anywhere from 10 to 20 years, and he had never ran a full heavy metal toxicity panel.
That's
They
in Diego, right?
Correct. They only test children at 2 years old for I can't even think of it right now. They only do one heavy metal test. I'll think of it in a minute. And so he ran the test. All of her blood work came back that the heavy metals were 3 times the levels: aluminum, mercury, all of that. He ended up calling me on the phone and pretty much tried to silence me. He told me that he sat down with his toxicologist, and the toxicologist was not worried about her levels, that heavy metals go high, they go low, that it wasn't a concern. And then he told me that a hair follicle test should never be run on anybody unless they're a drug addict or they're dead. And
Why? I
exactly.
can do whatever I want with my kid, right?
Well,
I
I was
mean,
like,
running tests, blood
exactly.
work, hair tests.
I was just trying to find the root cause. I was doing anything I could to find out why my 3-year-old daughter had lost her hair. And so it was pretty eye-opening at that point, being in the office and being not believed and just pushed to the side and even told I was crazy, and then being called on the phone and being told that, again, what are you doing? She's fine. There's nothing wrong with her.
Gaslighting.
Exactly. And so that's when I pretty much decided I had to go find another way. And so
Have you ever thought of finding another doctor just to hear another opinion?
I did, not a pediatrician. I went more of a holistic route. So we see Dr. Stanholm at Future Generations. That's been he's our family chiropractor, but also a root cause minded practitioner. So we went to him. We also see Dr. Calvin, who works for Cone Institute up in Costa Mesa, who's also a chiropractor, but studies more kinesiology and is definitely a root cause mindset. I also found a community called Human Garage. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So they have a huge platform all over social media, and basically what they teach is about fascia. Have you ever heard of
Yes.
fascia before? So
All muscles in this bag.
yeah, so pretty much it is like another organ inside of our body, underneath our skin, and it's intertwined in between our bones, our muscles, our lymphatic system. And so what we've learned, even through my practice, is when you open up the fascia, stretch it, it releases toxins, and it also releases trauma and memory. We have found that fascia holds memory, it holds trauma, it holds hydration, and it holds toxins. And so when I found this community, I happened to go on a live on Instagram with the founder, and I, was crying. I just had left my pediatrician's office the day before. I didn't know where to go, and I told him this is what the situation is. And he went, "No problem. That's no big deal. This is all you have to do." And he told me to work her stomach. So start opening up the ileocecal valve, which is on the right side of your belly button. Start stretching it because that's where heavy metals get stuck in there. That's where autoimmune disease starts. So I
By
needed
massaging?
massaging, stretching, torquing. Everything's pretty much with fascias. You want to torque it. You want to put pressure, torque it, stretch it, expand it.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about hydration on a cellular level instead of just water, adding in minerals to her diet. So they suggested diatomaceous earth, which is very high in silica. Silica is what our body needs to hold any type of mineral, and we're all lacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Then Irish sea moss. So I did that. I started working her belly. I started giving her the hydration, and within 2 weeks, her hair started growing back. And after that, I was sold. So I myself started joining the Human Garage community, and I did most of their programs, and found out that part of my daughter's healing journey was going to be my healing journey as well.